What if they say no? Stay in your lane.
You're going to keep doing your thing anyway.
Looking back now, it's cringing. Get really, really fucking good at what you do. Today's episode is brought to you by J&V on the subject of JVs.
The ultimate JV.
Does anyone know what a JV is?
I don't know. It's not Joe and Vicky before you ask.
No, but I think we are the ultimate JV.
We are
joint venture.
Yeah, joint ventures. So it's all very well and good doing this business malarkey by yourself on your little Todd with your dog out and about, scratching. But
I wondered where that was going.
It's something that I feel good businesses will put into their strategy. Like they will look to collaborate with other businesses that will align and support what it is you are trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think a lot of people do this successfully, unintentionally. And I also think that we don't do it intentionally enough.
So talk me through the unintentionally.
I think there are a good percentage of trainers out there that will partner up, even if it's like a wholesale thing, like I suppose like you with Perfect Fit and being able to sell their harnesses. Like that's arguably an element of a JV because you're benefiting, Perfect Fit are benefiting.
Mm-hmm. Same audience.
Yeah, I did it with Button Up Box. So I would refer their products on. I get money off of my dog food. Everybody wins. Like
Good enough. Like there's lots.
Yeah,
of these
there's loads.
things
So
out
I
there.
think actually a lot of people do it on some products.
Yeah, we're quite good at doing
fairly
it
well
with products,
on
aren't
products. I think, as with everything, there's always room for improvement. I think that could be pushed a lot more in a lot of circumstances.
we? Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's a starting point. At least we're working collaboratively with others. But I think you can take it a step further. And maybe this is where people struggle because we are now leaving the product space and we're into service.
Yeah, and potentially feeling threatened by each other, even though we're not doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It amazes me, though. It amazes me that we feel threatened by doing the same thing. But going a step further and being like, you do something totally different to what I do, even though we've got the same audience.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take an example of a dog groomer or a pet shop or I don't know, even an agility trainer, and you're just a dog, you know, pet dog trainer, but there's an agility trainer down the road. Have we gone and reached out to those people?
Yeah.
And just had a conversation, find out a little bit about them. Do you know anything about them?
Yeah.
Is what you know about them hearsay? And it might be not so, it might be negative in some cases. Oh, well, I've heard that dog groomer didn't groom that dog very well, or someone was whinging about them, or
hear all the time.
you hear that kind of thing, don't you? Or it's just the unknown of like, I don't know enough about them.
You know, I'm judging based on maybe like a post that they've put out or
Yeah.
a post that they've shared or
One of my clients has commented, or
yeah. Well, you don't know. You don't know the circumstances. You don't know what's going on with anything. So get to know people. And you know, I didn't intend on going down this route, but it's come into my brain. So I'm gonna roll with it.
Go on then.
With getting to know your local air quote competition, your local peer group, let's say then.
So this is dog trainers and dog trainers.
You're not necessarily going to like how other dog trainers train. Let's face it. Everyone gets a little bit touchy around the methods.
Mm-hmm.
You're either pro or you're not, or whatever it is. However, I think we need to be mindful, again, I'm going to keep saying it. What does the customer want?
So, okay, I get what you're saying. I'm putting myself in the place of a trainer here. The customer shouldn't want what that other trainer is offering.
What if that's genuinely what I want?
But they can't, because that's wrong.
Well, you're making me wrong, so now I'm not even going to go to you. Like, I'm not going to listen to you at all.
Isn't it?
Nobody likes to be made wrong. Think about it. Like, in every conversation in life, somebody makes you wrong. What's your immediate reaction?
Like, get defensive.
Yeah. Because it's not nice being told that you're wrong. Even when you are in the wrong.
Yeah.
You're still going to say that you're not.
You still defend it.
Like, you didn't take the rubbish out. I did.
I didn't because of something else. It's always someone else's fault.
Do you know how busy I am? Like, rah, rah. Like, immediate. Like, bang, there's a reaction. Now, okay, you may not get that type of reaction in terms of a potential client talking to you. They'll feel it, though. Internally, they'll be reacting that way.
Mm. But also, if nothing else, they might feel just ranted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when you see these posts on Facebook, I saw one just yesterday, actually, about, it was methodology again. And it was like, oh, this is abhorrent. This is not acceptable. This is not what we should be doing. Right, well, that's your view. But is that your view to impression on people that might not even have bought anything from you yet, and they don't fully know everything about you yet? And is that going to come across very professional to talk like that? And is it better to put that energy, which sometimes these posts, there's a lot of energy and passion, and I get it, I do get it, goes into why you shouldn't do those things, use those tools, be around those kind of like, you know, listen to those people who are talking about things that you don't agree with. Isn't it better to just then focus on what you're doing and how amazing you are at doing it, and not belittle someone else, but go like, there is that, it's out there. Like, it's no denying it. We're never going to get away from it.
No.
There's this method, there's that method, there's like blurred
There's
lines
loads
in between.
It's
going to happen. We can't change that. But what we can do is we can go, this is like this amazing thing that I do. If you want to be a part of it, get involved.
Yeah.
That's going to inspire somebody to work with you. Not
you're going to make
bashing
more of a
someone.
difference doing your thing and attracting your client by supporting clients who want to work with you.
Yeah.
Like, the more and more, and again, this wasn't and isn't supposed to be a methodology chat, but the more and more I think about it, I even think, like, I'll compare it to the kids. It would be genuinely like me publicly bashing the school system just because I don't agree with it and I'm choosing not to put the kids in that system. But I'm not doing that. I'm like, I'll mention it in conversation every now and again, but not in that bashy way. It'll just be like, I'm doing this thing.
But that's almost...
And it opens a conversation.
Yeah, but you're an anomaly anyway, because you're making that choice to go against the grain, do your own thing. Lots of people don't agree with it. And then if you suddenly start bashing what most people believe in, that's going to make your cause even... Like, you're just going to be more on the back foot and more look like this weird... You know, I'm going to say weirdo, but you know what I mean? Like, and I know you're fine with that and I can say it. But it's going to just come across very...
Yeah, it's it. And it's my take that, well, actually, So it's my personal belief that the school system is shit and something needs to drastically change. And by me putting my kids in the system, I am doing them a fundamental disservice in life. That's my take on it. I could absolutely put that message out everywhere and say, oi, you lot who've all got kids, how dare you be putting them into the system? Did you know it's broken? Rah, rah, rah. Here's all the evidence. Blah, 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 blah. Like welfare means and all that. So arguably it's similar. You're looking at it in that respect. However, that's not going to get me anywhere. I am not going to inspire change by doing that. I will inspire change by just showing up and doing my own thing, and people will be curious. And then they will see a different result.
Whenever you talk about it, because it does come up in conversations when we're on people's podcasts sometimes, or whether we're in PR, like doing some PR for the book or whatever, and it comes up and you never talk about it like other people are wrong. The way you talk about it is, this is my decision and my choice, and I want the best for my family. And I see that doing things in this way is actually accelerating their learning in this avenue and that avenue. And you can see people's... there are some times where I've been in these conversations, I've seen people like their faces drop when you say, well, I home educate, or I, however you describe it. And they're like, oh, and you can see it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you describe it in that way and you talk about it in the way that is rational and the way that you are just doing your own thing, and I am choosing to do this, or we're choosing to do that, you can see them like suddenly their faces soften, and suddenly they've asked you questions where I know they weren't going to ask those questions, and they're suddenly intrigued and they want to know a bit more, and they're like, this sounds interesting, tell me a bit more about that. And it's something that as human beings we should be inspired by other people, and we should be wanting to get involved in what they're doing. You know, that's almost like I hadn't really known about that, and maybe my own blinkered view of the world has stopped me even wanting to find out about that thing. Mm-hmm. And that's lovely. Like, and I don't know how you feel about, or whether you've ever got that impression, but I've definitely seeing it and seeing you talk and watching other people listen to you. I've seen it lots of times now. And so do you feel that? Do you have a sense of?
I feel that it is that education piece. It's that, oh my gosh, this is possible. Like, you can do something different. You don't have to do that method, if you will. I was like, well, no, if you don't feel it, then no. But that's your choice again. Mm. Like, I am never going to, it'd be like me turning around to my sister, who's the school teacher, and going like, you are a god awful, like you're actually like, what's the word? You're supporting the system. You're in it. Like, you're not stopping this from happening. And I can see you moan about it every single day, and I can see the flaws. But at what end and at what good is it going to do either of us or anybody, and even her kids who are in school, as are a good majority of the population? Like, why should that be down to me to make everybody wrong? So from a JV point of view, bringing it back on topic, it's about, if I am talking to a pet, because again, I've got kids of that age who are theoretically just going into the school system. So other parents that I meet will go, oh, where are you sending your child? Like, we're looking for a school. And I go, I'm personally not doing that. We're home edding. However, that school down the road, I've heard good things about. Not for me, but you might like it. Go and check it out. That's part of that JV bit to me, because to me, I believe I'm serving that other person to the best of my possible ability. I've genuinely had phone calls over the years where in the early days, I will put my hand up. I was that trainer that would unintentionally slate another trainer that didn't train the way that I did, because I felt that was my duty to do so, to basically make that person wrong for even considering going to someone who used tools, because I don't agree with it. But that's not my place to make them wrong.
But it also is part of the selling process.
Yeah.
If you want that, go over there.
Exactly.
If you want this, like, I'm force free. I do this. I'm kind.
And I'm not even going to do any of that. I was just like, that's not how I train. If you're interested to learn more, brilliant, go and hang out in my Facebook group for a bit. I'm not going to sell you at that moment in time. If you're not, and that's genuinely what you want, because maybe you've tried loads of force-free stuff before and you genuinely feel it hasn't worked for you, I'm not going to turn around and say I'm going to be different to everybody else and it's going to work. So, I mean, I could, but it's not my place to make somebody think that.
No, but it takes a bigger person. It takes a lot to be able to be comfortable with yourself.
And a lot of people won't be happy with that response.
No, they won't. They won't. And I've been exactly that same person where I've justified, like, you know, work with me and you'll get this. And like, it looking back now, it's cringe, because it's like, why did I ever feel the need to say that? Yeah. Because I don't, and again, like, my ignorance of like not knowing enough about people who do use tools, like, it's not my place to have that. I'm pushing them in one direction or the other, and I shouldn't be doing that. You
know, it's like everyone's going to get there in their own time. It's like, again, this. I don't even think we can go off on tangents anymore, because I think everything's just so interlinked and we'll always come back to everything. But even just going back to my sister for a moment, not even on the school thing now, she has got some incredible talents and she's got some incredible business ideas. She will never, ever be an entrepreneur. Not in her nature to do it. She is an employee through and through. Zero intention of doing a business. Well, I say zero intention. Realistically, it's zero intention. She may have like 0.1% inclination to want to do it because it comes up in conversation now and again. Like, oh, it'd be nice. But I was like, you're never going to do it. So for me to try and push her into doing something because I think it's right, like, my opinion that entrepreneurship is the best possible thing you can do. Like, fuck employment. That's not going to get you anywhere. If you're in a hole, employment's not going to get you out of it. It might do short term, but you're tied into a lot of your hours are then spent doing that. You can't pursue anything that you love necessarily, or it's capped at very limited. But these are all my opinions. But I'm not going to put them on anybody else. I'm not going to suddenly force my sister to change her mind because she's got to come to it in her own time. My brother-in-law is kind of doing the same at the moment. So he left his job several years ago now, and then he went, I'm going to air quote it, as self-employed, because he essentially just went and got another employed job, but as a permanent freelancer. So I was like, you're still technically employed, but you're just now doing your own books. And I was saying I was like, why? Like, why? Because now the work that you're doing for those guys, you could be picking up yourself and making that bigger profit. But it's that fear again of I need the consistent. And I was like, again, but I'm making you wrong by saying you are wrong for going and doing that. Why don't you just go and do it for yourself? Several years later now, he's coming round to it. It's a long time.
Interesting.
It's painful to watch. Just because I'm not that wired.
Yeah.
Or that way wired. He's coming round to it. So now he's dropped that 5 day a week, air quote, employed, self-employed job to 2 days a week. And now 3 days he's fully on his own. So I'm like, do you know what? You get round. But that, in my eyes, that's that consistent education in the background through conversation, through having conversations with people, through partnering up. And that's where, for me, that JV bit comes in so much because not only does it support you from a business aspect in terms of, and I think we'll get into it in a minute, but that bare basic, that bare minimum of just being able to advise somebody to go to somebody else that isn't the thing that you do, regardless as to whether or not you agree with it. And I know that's hard, and I know a lot of you will not like that answer. But if I've gotten to know someone who's using tools and stuff that, yeah, I don't agree with and I don't use them, but if that's right for that client because that's what they want and I know the person and I'm happy with the person, then, well, surely it's better to go, okay, well, I don't do that. Because I can't help you. If you're genuinely not interested in what I've got, then I can't help you. Not through a lack of desire or want to. But if I make you wrong, then A, I'm doing the business damage because that person's not going to have had a very good experience. But B, I'm never going to change that person's mindset anyway because I've made them wrong. So it's actually our job to just keep doing the education bit in a way where you're not making people wrong.
No.
I just keep showing up, doing the thing, like with me with the home ed thing. I'm not making anybody wrong. I'm just doing my thing and people are starting to get interested and go, oh, maybe I could do that.
But I think that is that inspire thing. And what I will say about K9 Business Academy and us is that we hear this a lot. You know, we come to the agency, we do testimonials for them because we believe in this service, we think it's amazing and we want other people to see the value in it. So we get asked to come and, you know, sit on stage and talk. And how many times do we get people either coming up to us at the end and saying how inspiring we are? And again, I think purely because we are just up there doing our own thing, talking about the journey we've been on and how doing it in our own way and not being too concerned about what other people do. And like, we all know that there are other people out there doing the same thing as us, and we're not trying to compare or compete. We actually actively invite people into our group to speak that are our direct competitors. We have people on the podcast that are, in anyone's eyes, our direct competitors, but they are not us. And they are never going to do things in the same way as us. Same as you're all dog trainers, or maybe you're not all dog trainers, but majority are dog trainers doing the same things, because let's face it, there's only so many things you can do to get results for a dog. And yet, like, we're so scared of that collaboration bit. We're so scared that someone's going to take it all and run, and like, we resource guard. And like, I know we've talked about this before, but it's even when someone reaches out and wants to learn from you. So you're a dog trainer, you've been doing it for a while. Someone's either sometimes just want to volunteer to get a bit more knowledge, or they want to do work experience, or maybe that's less threatening for people, but sometimes it's a threat. Or sometimes people are just genuinely interested in what you do. It's that, like, no, what's their ulterior motive? And I know that a lot of people think like,
you're going to take my clients.
You're going to take my clients away. I need to, like, stop you and gatekeep you at any point I can. But do you know how that looks from the other person's perspective?
It's awful.
It looks really unprofessional. It feels like you've got something to hide. Because I've been on the receiving end of this, and I've tried to reach out to people, and I've tried to, like, go, hi, I'm not a threat, I'm here. Like, I just want to say hi. I want to let you know what we're doing, and it'd be great if we can work together. And people sometimes just literally put a door up and go like, no, I don't like your intention. But you don't know what it is yet, because we haven't even chatted.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like if we can be more open and receptive to this kind of approach, then what a difference we can make. Because let's face it, with K9 Business Academy, we would not be here where we are now without collaborations.
No.
Definitely we wouldn't. We've been, I wouldn't say
we wouldn't exist because we collaborated.
Well, we're a collaboration in the first place, but look at all the people that we've done work with. A lot of the work is through the podcast, but a lot of the other work is, like, through researching other people and reaching out and going, like, what they're doing. That's really cool. Let's see if we can help each other. Yeah. And I know why a lot of people don't do it is because that fear of rejection. Is, what if they say no? What if they say no?
You're going to keep doing your thing anyway.
And that's easy for me to say, but if we can get past that fear, the opportunity on the other side of that is so amazing. And I really want this episode to feel like people can do that thing that they've been holding themselves back. Maybe you've thought about doing it before. Maybe you've gone, yeah, I could actually reach out to the pet shop down the road, or I could go to the groomers, or I could go and speak to the vets a bit more. But I feel like they're just not going to want to, they don't care. Maybe you feel like everyone else is doing that and you're going to be just another notch. Yeah. But I don't think they are doing it. I think if you actually made the effort to go and speak and have a human conversation one-to-one, someone would really remember that. They'd really appreciate it. And if they're a decent human being, they're going to, like, see the benefit themselves and go like, yeah, cool, let's see how we can do stuff.
And this is it. And I think there's an expectation sometimes that, as anything in business, that you're going to get instant gratification just because someone said yes, then it's suddenly going to work. Yeah. Like, no, you've got to work fucking hard at maintaining those things. And sometimes they don't work out.
Yeah, sometimes.
But you don't know. Like, I did collaborations with a local pet shop where I'd go every Saturday morning for their free puppy socialization, which essentially was just an aisle
free for all
in a shop with a little barrier at the end of each aisle. And then, no, the puppies.
Oh God, like, it's conjuring up chaos in my mind.
It was horrendous. Yeah, it was absolutely horrendous. And I did that for a year and I hated it. I dreaded going every single week.
Yeah. Really? Gosh, I wouldn't.
I persevered at that for a year because I ended up taking over, going, oh God, I can't be dealing with this. Like, one at a time. Now let's two. Now let's do some education bit whilst we're here. And it didn't work for the business. So I wasn't getting anything off the back of it. And for me, because I had my business hat on rather than, because I was like, actually, I'm not even technically getting through to you here because I'm trying to shoehorn in something that you haven't come for.
Yeah.
You've come for a free-for-all and I'm stopping it now. So now I'm the bad guy. You're not hearing it as that's good information. And the few sales that I did get, they were never the right client for me.
Do you know what?
And I had a lot of backlash off the back of it.
I did 2 sessions at Pets at Home with like, come and do our puppy, whatever they called it, play group or whatever. Okay. Exactly the same. I can shoehorn in this and that and talk to them about how to play appropriately. They didn't give a shit. And actually, Pets at Home ended up saying to me, like, this isn't what we want. And I was like, I actually don't feel like it's right. It's not a good fit, is it? And like, no. So we ended up parting. It was I did 2.
No, because it's I think the reason I did it so long was I actually got on really well with the store owner and managers, and they wanted to change it, but it was higher up because it was franchise.
Usually the way, yeah.
They wouldn't. Their thought process was, I'll get people in and they'll buy all the stuff when they're in here. I'm like, they're not. They're fucking off as soon as you've had their free thing. They're not buying anything. But again, like, you got to try. But off the back of that, because I became really good friends with the store owner then and the store manager, found out that they were like expert nutritionists. I'm like, oh, brilliant. How can I loop you into my clients and how can I refer work to you that way? But that was built up off of doing something that, yes, I didn't really enjoy doing, but I persevered at it enough to go, is it right? Is it not? What's off the back of it? And yes, okay, it wasn't the initial outcome that you kind of hope for, but you learn other stuff around it and you go, right, okay, well, hold on. Ideal clients are not in that space.
Yeah, and you've learned something and you know what not to do next time. Yep. So everything's a learning experience. But also that could have worked out. It could have been that those pet shop owners would have been able to make a change if it wasn't like, head office issue or whatever. And it could have worked out really nicely. So
like if that was an independent.
Yeah.
Would have
been perfect. Like one of our clients does, is it monthly? She goes and does like a Q&A. At a pet shop, which is really successful, and she's built a nice relationship with the owner of the pet. I think she knew them anyway, and it was just a nice, easy in for them. And that's a nice little setup there because you've got people coming into the store potentially now for her. They might buy something off the back of it. I think it's an independent from what I can gather, and like at the same time, she might get somebody buying her services because she's offering some value for free. That's a really lovely way to do it because you might go once, twice, 3 times and you feel like, oh, this isn't working. Nobody's buying anything. But if you can put them somewhere, here's some value. I'd love you to join my Facebook group. I'd love you to get on the mailing list because we give loads more tips and advice on the mailing list. Awesome. You've got them in your world. So it's not instant gratification a lot of the times with these joint ventures. We've had it ourselves where it's been a longer play game. Yep. But eventually you're like, that wasn't maybe what we thought it was going to be, but look what we can get off. Not what we can get off it, how we can help each other now. Yeah. It's almost like diversifying your brain into going like, don't put all your eggs in one basket here. You need to kind of go in with an open mind and who knows what you could get off the back of it. And once the relationship, because the relationship was with us anyway, coming into this space and doing this thing, we're nobodies. We've like come in and gone like, hi, we're Joe Vicky. We've got this podcast. It's called, like, Let's Talk Dog Business. We're here. Come on the podcast. But that's all they know about us at that point. So it's nurturing those relationships, building the trust, them getting to know what you're about, you getting to know more about what they're about, their intentions, your intentions, making it a win-win. We talk a lot about win-wins. JVs should always be a win-win because if it's off kilter, you're taking more than you're giving back, that's not right, and vice versa. So there's a lot to be said for that relationship building because you'll find out so much through that nurturing of that relationship.
It's definitely a longer play game. And it can be so worthwhile.
Yeah, it can.
And I think sometimes it's like thinking outside the box a little bit as well. So like I've said before, like I just didn't turn that dog business into anything that I had the ability to do because my heart wasn't in it and I got comfortable. But I had ideas of when I was working in the in the corporate job, it was in one of these like I was going to say like a high-rise flat, but it's not a high-rise flat at all, but these high-rise like office block buildings, but like a really nice one, like an industrially type look and feel. And they used to do like in the foyer bit at the bottom, you could have that space for free, essentially.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, so much I could do there. Like, that's a whole office block of people that are going to come down, bang on between like 12 and 2. I even had an agreement with Big Boss Man at my company to go, can I just pop down there and do that like one Friday a month or something? And I'll make up the hours. Like, you know, I was already doing like 60, 70, 80 hours anyway. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I just never did it because, again, my heart wasn't in it properly. But that could have been that space then that I've technically almost JV'd with that office block company to go, how can I help and utilise that space? And then they're getting busier, then that attracts different people. And then there was a, you know, like these little street food things, like these coffee horse bars and stuff. They were all wanting to come then. So they was trying to build this like little community thing. I was like, that's brilliant. Because like all of that is your JV stuff. Doesn't always have to be a pet product.
No. And actually, that coffee shop kind of premise, can I come in and use your coffee shop to like bring these people together?
Yep.
And in turn, all these people are going to buy a drink at least and maybe some cake and maybe lunch every single time.
Yep.
They're going to be like, all these new people coming in. Amazing.
I used to do that with Boston Tea Party as well, actually.
Yeah.
They would give me a space for free and I would take my group class there because it was dog friendly.
Yeah, I forgot you used to do that.
Yeah.
There.
And then half the time, like they didn't even bring their dogs because we were too busy just chatting about dogs whilst having coffee and cake. And it was lovely.
Yeah.
Like a little mini event. But it was something that I just did for my clients. So it became a nice upsell within the programs and it created this community vibe, which was lovely. But through the JV of me speaking to Boston Tea Party, and then I'd go in there and if I just needed to kill some time in between sessions, I could go and chat to the manager and sit on my laptop and work. It was great. So
there's so much to be said for just going and having a chat with someone.
This human-to-human connection again. Like I think we get so caught up in the JV thing only has to be with a vet, and also I'm only ever going to make sales on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like social media and vets is my only way in.
It's so limited.
Yeah.
Like even like groomers, for example. How many dogs do you work with that go to a groomer's, and how many owners are struggling with their dogs being groomed because they don't like being groomed, or the groomer, like there's things there that if you then spoke to the groomers and said like, Joe, I'd love to do some educational stuff for your guys. Like I'd love to just talk about how we can get them a bit more used to being brushed or a bit more used to the clippers, a bit of desensitization stuff. Like, would you do a night where like I can come to your place and we can get these, you know, some of your owners together? And I'd love to help them. And genuinely, because you're seeing it all the time, like how many cockapoos have we all seen that can't stand it? And like, I just feel like there's a trick miss there where people are not using that opportunity to go like, I genuinely want to help these people, but also it'd be great if like, you know, I could then refer to that groomer because I genuinely know that they want to help their clients and you're maybe going to get some work off it. How nice would that feel? Like warm and fuzzy inside. We want to do all the right things. We want to help people. We want to help the dogs. What a great way of doing that.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity. And I think something else to consider when you're looking at a JV is what's in it for them.
Yeah.
So depending on who you're JVing with, they are going to be different levels of business savvy. So I've JV'd with some vets before. I found it challenging to JV with franchised vets.
All the red tape and everything.
Independent vets, very different experiences. I've had independent vets that are very money savvy and go, how is this going to benefit?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
first thing they're thinking about.
And I'm like, do you know what? Fucking brilliant though, because you're thinking money, then that's exactly where we need to be because we're going to help people off the back of the money thing. And again, I know not everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, but it's an angle.
Like, if I understand that that's where you're coming from, then okay, I now know I need to position this in such a way that it's going to make financial sense for you. Because if I come in with the warm and fuzzy to a business owner that is all about the money, well, you're never going to get that partnership.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny actually. I'm just thinking of something we did. So, you know, Umberslade Farm Park.
Yes.
So me and my friend Emma that was working with me in the business at that time, we were looking for a field to do a bit of hoopers, a bit of agility. And the guy that owns that, I don't know if you know anything about him, he's very savvy, like it's a family run place, but he's very business savvy. And it quickly turned out that we weren't really what he was looking for, because at that time, like, I wasn't thinking, I was just like, oh, we want a bit of a field, can we have it? And we did rent this place, and we had it for like a few months before COVID hit, and then it all went out the window. That guy now has got that Bruce's dog daycare. And this is what his vision was. This is not two girls who are just messing around in a bit of a corner of a field doing a bit of agility. He was like, I want that to be making me money. Like that. Then are they national, or are they just Midlands based, Bruce's?
Actually, I feel like I want to say national, but
yeah, but they're getting bigger, aren't they?
Yeah.
So he was like, that's the vision I want for this place. I want it to be like on brand, like professional outfit.
Yeah.
They do a bit of everything, don't they? Do a bit of daycare, a bit of like kennels, a bit of training. Like, I don't know. Don't they do grooming as well? I don't know. Anyone who's involved in that. But yeah, I was like thinking of that as you were talking, then going like, yeah, he wanted that. And I think that we had the COVID bit in the middle, but I think if he'd really seen something in us, he would have like pursued it after, because we ended up having to give that field up because of the because of having to stop work and stuff like that. And then I was like, okay. So he was the sort of person where he wasn't doing it to be warm and fuzzy. He was doing it to make some cash and good business decision, to have that reliable income coming in. You know, you're associated with this top business, you know, you're part of it as well. So that's what he wanted.
yeah.
And we were never going to fit that criteria in what we were doing then.
And it's important, like, ask questions, like, do that human-to-human connection bit, because ultimately you can make it a win-win if you understand one another.
Yeah, we didn't ask enough questions. He did. He was asking us a lot of questions, but we were just like, oh, we just want a field. And it was really naive. Like, looking back at it, it was really naive. But, you know, it was all right. But it could have been so much better. But we didn't have that vision. Yeah. We just didn't have that at all then.
Well, I think this is, again, it's like the skill set lacks in a lot of business owners, because we go in with the warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And I don't know for certain, I'm making a massive assumption that a good percentage of people think to be good at business, you have to be quite cold-hearted.
Ruthless.
Ruthless, yeah. Like, you're not allowed to be warm and fuzzy if you've got a good business hat on. And I can imagine, actually, I potentially give that impression sometimes, because I can talk to the point about business. But ultimately, like, anyone who knows me, anyone who's working with me, they're like, yeah, she's just really fucking good at that. But all the intention, all the integrity, all that really wanting to genuinely, it's still there. Like, that's the driving force behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be able to do all of that stuff if I've not got that clear business hat on. And if I go into these conversations thinking warm and fuzzy, when I'm talking to a savvy business owner, I'm fucked from the start.
Yeah.
Like, I'm never going to get anything. So I'm not going to be able to help their audience, because I've let their audience down from the offset by not being professional enough to have that conversation.
Yeah. And back to that example, we went in with a win for us and a lose for him, because we were like, can you rent us a bit of your field? You've got loads of fields, acres and acres and acres of land. You won't miss a little corner of it. Can you rent it to us? That's exactly what we said and exactly what he gave us. But it's not what he wanted. And he quickly realised that. But that's that win-win bit. It was off kilter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's just so many things you can do with JV. Like, I love exploring JVs. And I think you can have loads, and I think you can have a few, and I think you can have one. But definitely have one.
Yeah.
Look to get to know people. Even if you're thinking at like a really basic level from a training point of view, how can I supplement the training by just, I don't know, could I lean on a local dog walker that could go, can you help me pick up some of this stuff? Could you get to know the local sitters in the area? Because again, like, you become the font of knowledge, don't you, for everybody? They expect you as that dog trainer to know what's the best vet, what's the best walker, what's the best sitter, what's the best groomer. So do yourself a decent service by getting to know people. Again, whether you like them or not, you can quite happily say, actually, like, I'm not a fan of theirs, but you don't even need to say that to the client. You can just go, that person. I like that. I like them. I know them. They're really good.
Yeah, but also you never know when you're going to need people either. Like it might not be something you actually need right now. But there's been relationships that I've built up with people in the past where because I've got that constant thing going in the background, it's been a logical place to go. Like, had I needed a bit more in that area, I'll go to that person. They'll go, oh, yeah, of course, Vicky. Like, yeah, we've always been, around each other. We know what each other does. Like, so one of our clients is exploring going into like support for dog trainers as a pet sitter. Like, how can we keep consistency when a dog goes and stays at a pet sitter, for example? Could there be some elements of training involved? That's a perfect way where you would start to be known in the local area and go like, oh, you're a dog trainer, aren't you? Oh, I'm a pet sitter, blah, blah, blah. And just build that relationship up. And then when something like that happens and you go, I really want to kind of niche into that a little bit more. Who do I know who's got the same people as me that might be a dog trainer in the area? Oh, I'll go and speak to that person. And then they're not going to be suspicious of you and they're going to be open to go like, oh my God, I would love it if someone was supporting dog trainers like that. It's a no-brainer. We're in.
Yeah, that's it. Make it a win-win. Whether it's a financial kickback, whether it's a just you refer back
or just
to me.
A constant stream of clients that are going to be there.
Like whatever it is, if you're both happy, if it's a win-win, well, actually, I'm going to make it a three-way win. If it's a win for you, it's a win for the JV person, and it's a win for the client. Happy fucking days.
I thought you were going to say win for the universe as the third one.
Okay, four-way win. It's a square now. Gone from a triangle to a square.
A win square.
A win square.
A win quadrant.
Oh, bloody quadrants. Always a quadrant.
Dog training.
Yeah. Quadrant. No, so I hope we've kind of opened up your mind a little bit to the collaboration side. Because I think
that episode. That was good talking about all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's just such an underrated thing to do. But I think it's a really integral part of your business strategy.
Yeah, and I do think it comes down again to that. I hate it, but it kind of says what it is. Stay in your lane. Get really, really fucking good at what you do. Mm-hmm. Get confident in it. Don't put your energies into negativity. And then when you do want to shine and you feel like you can get out there more, you're going to be in a much better place to be able to then have those conversations and get ownership of what it is you're doing. And like, really go for the fact that like, this is why people should come to me. Like, it isn't sell. I'm this, I'm that. But it's like, this is why I do it. This is my purpose. This is, like we talk about CBA, it shows through. Like anyone that we speak to about it, I'm like, God, you two, like you can see it exude from us, literally like seep out of us because we feel so passionate. So if you feel like that, then people are going to be magnetic to you. And that's really powerful. Positive episode, I feel.
Good,
today.
Good. Well, I'm actually going to do a little plug here because if you are enjoying these conversations and you want to go further and figure out how to implement it all, because let's face it, that's the fucking point of it all, isn't it? Like go forth and implement. Go and hop in on the pod classes. Go and check out what conversations we have in there.
I love those pod classes.
They are epic.
And those who are in it, like just getting some really awesome feedback. Like your pod classes, they're brilliant.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So no, go and check it out. It is a measly £27 plus the VAT on top. And yeah, just a ton of value. So go check it out.